when someone comes into an organization, this is what I really love about the core curriculum as well, is it can form a foundation of curating the experience for someone coming into the organization. I mentioned in that other video about learning historical fun facts that make it kind of exciting to like, oh my God, I work at this organization where this happened. No one really knows this. But like, how do you curate the experience? And so consider how best to build on the goodwill and the excitement that came out of the hiring process and use something like the core curriculum to really create, like, what might it look like to for someone's onboarding to be fun and exciting? How would you like there's kind of a template about how people come into an organization. Some organizations are like, here's the computer, figure it out yourself because here's your password. Other organizations, people come in and there's like a tote bag and mugs and you go out to lunch with the CEO and all these different things about like, how do you actually engage people and create this process to make it exciting? Which also includes, don't ask someone just to watch videos all day long for their first week. Maybe you do carve out and say the first week they're not going to be doing any actual work of their role because we can set aside that time. Or maybe the first 2 weeks, it's a hard thing to do because like the person's joined, usually like, oh my God, we finally have the person here. And then you don't have them doing the work or the maybe engaging in the same way. But to say, let's cordon off this time. Let's protect this time so they can do things that will lay the foundation. So it's not just watching videos. It's like, all right, so how do we change up watching videos, filling out HR paperwork, going to lunch with their supervisor or members of their team, to giving a tour of the office, to support the video tour, all these different things. How can you actually curate an experience and an onboarding experience from the hiring process into day one, into, their next 30, 90 days. And lastly here, I mentioned this, like, don't dismiss the value of a company mug and tote bag. There's something about like getting some swag from the organization that you work with when you start that just feels special. It's like, a $10 mug and, $10 tote bag or something like that, but there's some connection that you feel differently, maybe, or you often feel differently when you have that thing. So think about like, how do you make this experience come to life for people in order to curate it so that they're excited to learn, to be a part of the organization, or maybe so that their excitement to be a part of the organization isn't quickly doused or extinguished. So that was a lot in the tips and the tricks for developing and iterating. It's really a constant process of iteration and evolving. What worked for us, before didn't work necessarily now. And so like, how do you do this and structure it in a way to not constantly be needing to redo your core curriculum, but really building upon it and building upon the learning that people have as they're going through it.